we doing? We have a fantastic episode for you today here on Throwdown Thursday, because I'm going to tell you a few eat this, not that kind of things, but then we're going to make a super fun, delicious salad dressing. Because it's the holidays. I know. I'm gonna beat this into your heads until you understand. There are some excellent substitutions you can make over the holidays, because, like we've said before, there is horrible food that's just not on your meal plan around every corner. This will not be the last time that you get to eat fantastic food, and there are some really easy, simple substitutions that won't, listen, I get a lot of people, and I was the same way for many years, that, oh, Thanksgiving is the time, I'm not going to change anything, I'm going to eat everything. And as I've gotten into this lifestyle, the last 5 or 6 years, your taste buds change, and things become a little bit sweeter and a little bit saltier. And I've noticed that over Thanksgiving, that certain things are just not as enjoyable, just because they feel so rich to me, because I'm not used to eating them. But starting off, there are some really super easy substitutions that you can make that you probably won't notice, and really it's just doing that little bit extra to help yourself to have a little bit better ingredients. Couple of things that you can sweeten lots of different desserts and baked goods with are anything 100%. So 100% maple syrup. We use an organic maple syrup here at Paleo Num Yums. So that is like our pecan pie bars, different things like that. That has maple syrup in it. It does gonna give that nice fall flavor, and then it's just a more natural sugar, or natural sweetener. The other thing is coconut sugar. Interesting fun fact about coconut sugar, coconut palm sugar. So there's not actually coconut in it. It is the sap from the coconut tree, and it's made into coconut sugar. Now, coconut sugar is almost like brown sugar. You can replace it cup for cup for brown sugar or processed sugar, but you can substitute that into some of your baked goods, different things like our sweet potato casserole that we use here at Paleo Num, or that we make. Is actually sweetened with not only coconut sugar and the crumble on the top, but we actually do a baked, almost a cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice apple puree to sweeten the sweet potato casserole. So that is a really super easy, delicious thing. You can sweeten with some fruit. You're still getting sugars and you're still getting those carbs. It's just better for you, and it's not as overly processed. Another thing you can do is substitute coconut milk. I know you get a lot. Listen, for those people, a lot of people can't do dairy. A lot of people, dairy upsets their stomach. That is one of my biggest downfalls in Thanksgiving, is everything is a creamy something. Everything has some type of dairy in it. Cup for cup, you can substitute coconut milk. Now, it was almond milk. Almond milk to me does change the flavor, but coconut milk, the carton is actually the lower fat coconut milk. You can substitute regular milk for that. If it calls for heavy cream and you want the extra fat, you can get the canned coconut milk. It's gonna be a lot fattier, but it is still gonna be that creamy. If you don't want to do the fat, you can substitute the regular coconut milk for heavy cream or the full fat coconut milk, but some things will be lost in translation. That creaminess is still going to be delicious. I wouldn't mind, but if you're just kind of starting off, I would recommend substituting the canned full fat coconut milk for the heavy cream that the recipe calls for. Now, I've also said before that a good salad dressing is super easy. Of course, it's the holidays, so we're going to be a little bit fancier. Some ingredients that you may not get to find elsewhere. We are going to make a pomegranate molasses dressing. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to juice some lemons. So I've got some lemons here. I'm going to kind of roll them around, get those juices flowing. This is going to make, I'm actually going to put it Love making salad dressings and putting them in jars because one, you can write with a dry erase marker or a chalk marker right on the lid, and then it washes off when you don't have to use that big of a jar, by the way, but you know, here at Paleo Num Yums, we don't do anything small. So then I'm just gonna juice these lemons. Now it's not going straight in, so I don't care if the seeds go in there because I can always take the seeds out. But this recipe is super yummy. It's not an overly sweet dressing. You'll find that it does not contain any extra added sugar other than this pomegranate molasses, actually, which, by the way, is not as sweet as you're thinking when it says molasses. So keep that in mind. It also uses a ground sumac. And so what is ground sumac? Don't be thinking it's like I'm putting like poison sumac, that like poison ivy kind of thing. It's not that. So it is a Middle Eastern, it's not necessarily an herb, even though, and I'll show you this in a second, even though it comes ground, it's actually from the sumac bush, which has berries, which of course before the berries pop out, there are flowers. And so the ground sumac that you get comes from those sumac flowers. And it is adds a little bit of vinegar or lemony tartness to whatever you're doing. You can dust it on chicken before you bake it. You can dust it on salads. It's really good in salad dressings. Anything that you want to add like a very unique tartness or lemony, just a little zing to what you're doing. All right. So I've got my lemon juice, and all I'm going to do is we're going to pour it. Everything is going to go into this. And I don't want my seeds, so I'm just going to kind of pour my lemon juice in there. And then you just add to it. What I love about a jar is you can put the lid on it and then you shake it. So super easy. Like I said, this makes a lot, so this would be really good for a party because I think you have to search for the pomegranate molasses. I'll be honest with you, the easiest place I found it is Amazon. But I'm sure you could do Earth Fare. Any local people to Augusta, you could probably do Earth Fare, or Sprouts would probably have pomegranate molasses. And we're just going to make this. It's a cup of everything to start off with. And you will be noticing this in some of our salads. We'll be incorporating this pomegranate just because it doesn't have all those sugars. This would be something really fantastic if you're doing Whole30, especially people that start Whole30 in January. There's no extra sugar in there. That's the biggest thing with Whole30 is you can't have any sugar. We've got garlic. We're going to dump that in there. Oh. Don't do that. See, I'm telling you what not to do. Don't do that. Good thing it's clean. All right, now we're going to do 2 teaspoons of ground sumac. And as you can see, it's just kind of a ground, has a very lemon. It actually smells like lemon. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of this. I've got my cheat sheet over here. We are going to do 1 teaspoon of salt. You can add more or less as you feel you need to. And the other thing we're going to do, this is 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. I believe the original recipe actually called for regular vinegar, white vinegar, but I don't like white vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar, so I use apple cider vinegar. And then all you do is shake this, and it's good in your refrigerator for probably up to at least 2 weeks, if not a good month, because there's nothing really in here that can go bad. But then other than that, you have a fantastic salad dressing. I'm gonna taste this. Very. So it has It's almost like a really, really flavorful onion vinegar. I mean, like a balsamic vinaigrette with just some really good flavor. So this would be great on a salad. We do a quinoa salad with 5-spice pumpkin seeds, maybe a little fruit, craisins, maybe even some little clementines or mandarin oranges, something with fruit on it, some quinoa. This would be perfect on grilled chicken. This would be something that if you maybe wanted to marinate your grilled chicken in there, that would give a great zing to that. But other than that, now you have a great salad dressing to go along with any holiday side dish. You want to take something over to somebody's house. This is something that would be very easy, very yummy, very delicious, and it's actually very clean and good for you. You just don't know it. So be smart. Make those little substitutions. If you have any questions, you know, as always, feel free to give us a call. Other than that, have a fantastic rest of the day and a beautiful weekend. Goodbye.